Miami, Zack Wheeler earned another start in the big leagues. The right-hander who was demoted to the minor leagues this spring, pitched the longest and most dominant game of any Mets starter yet this season, beating the Marlins 4-1 at Marlins Park. And yet, there are no guarantees for Wheeler, who became the odd man out when the Mets went out and signed veteran lefty Jason Vargas this spring. "I would assume so," Mets manager Mickey Callaway said with a smile, before quickly backing away from it. "But, we'll have to see obviously. I think that Vargas is starting Thursday in another sim game, so the way the days line up there, we'll just have to see." Wheeler allowed 1 run on 2 hits. He walked 1 and struck out 7 and was the first Mets starter to go 7 innings this season. He allowed a home run to Miguel Rojas in the first and then settled back down. He retired the last 16 hitters he faced. "Yeah. I mean, I was trying to go out there and throw strikes, get quick outs, go deep into the game," said Wheeler, who threw 83 pitches. Wheeler did everything that was asked of him when he was demoted in March. He came up and attacked hitters, pounded the strike zone, got ahead and was efficient. He hopes that made enough of a statement that he can stick around. "I think so. I was able to pound the zone, throw some good quality strikes," Wheeler said. "My slider was working well. Off-speed was working. Was able to command the fastball for the most part. It was good. But when Vargas is ready to return from the disabled list, the Mets will have a numbers crunch again." Vargas, who fractured his right hamate bone in spring training, is scheduled to throw a simulated game Thursday. He would possibly still need at least 1 minor league rehab game before he could return, so that could give Wheeler a short reprieve. But the Mets signed Vargas to a 2-year, $16 million deal to start, so he will take back that spot in the rotation. Seth Lugo and Robert Zellman are pitching well as long men in the bullpen, so Wheeler may have to head back out. "When we made the decision in spring, we wanted Zack in this role, ready, in Triple-A, if anything happened," Mets assistant GM John Rico said. "We'll see what happens." Just as he promised, Yoenis Cespedes was back in the lineup Wednesday night. The slumping slugger has refused days off for 5 straight games despite the fact he has had to fight through fever and flu-like symptoms. Cespedes feels strongly that he has to hit his way out of his 3-for-24 slide. But first-year manager Mickey Callaway keeps asking if Cespedes would like to rest. "At some point we have to do the right thing. I just want to make sure he's taken care of. For me, the right thing is to have Cespedes in the lineup every day even if he is not going that great because, like last night, he's going to come through at some point. He's that talented," Callaway said, referring to Cespedes' 9th-inning double that delivered the winning runs to keep the Mets' 7-game winning streak alive. "The thing that would be concerning as a manager is if his condition or his appearance starts to affect him mentally. Then that's the time to get him out and step in and say you need a day no matter what. As long as he's locked in and ready to play, he's going to play." Cespedes' playing time began a hot-button issue last season when he insisted on playing despite having leg issues. He ended up missing half the season with hamstring injuries in both legs. But it's obviously hard to pull the guy who is making $27 million out of the lineup against his will. Of the 3 hits Cespedes has had since the Mets began this road trip, 2 are game winners. There was Tuesday night's pulled ground ball that got past the Marlins' third baseman and Sunday night's broken bat single just over the infield that gave the Mets a 12-inning win and sweep of the Nationals. He has struck out 14 times during that slump and had a record 20 punch-outs in the first 10 games. Cespedes went into Wednesday night's game hitting just .190 with 3 home runs and 10 RBI. Against left-handed starter Jarlin Garcia, Callaway sat Michael Conforto and played 1 log RAs. There is no update on right-handed reliever Anthony Swarzak, who is on the disabled list with a strained left oblique, Rico said. He is still weeks away from returning. The Mets signed Swarzak to a 2-year $14 million deal to shore up its bullpen. There is also no change in third baseman David Wright's status, Rico said. The Mets captain, who has not played in a game since May 2016, was shut down from baseball activities last month. He has had 3 spine-related surgeries in the last 3 years.